This terrifying clip hails from the Indian state of Karnataka, where a snake rescuer named Ashok Kumar had the fright of his life when he went in to rescue a snake from a house. The animal was hiding in the bathroom, and the house owner called Ashok to transport it back into the wild. But no one there had any idea what a monster they were dealing with. When the snake slithered to the floor of the bathroom, the man pulled the tail of the reptile to drag it out into the open, but it was the biggest miscalculation of his life. The way that 14-foot-long king cobra stood up with its flared hood froze the blood of Ashok, but the man composed himself immediately and rescued the snake and took it back to its home in the jungle. To begin this scary encounter, a small group of tourists can be seen recording a cheetah during their game drive in Masai Mara. For a while, the predator seems to be inspecting the vehicle and the people inside of it, but moments later the video cuts to reveal this terrifying sight. The curious cheetah managed to climb inside the vehicle, and surprisingly, the tourists managed to keep calm despite having a lethal hunter right behind them. After a few minutes that must have felt like hours, the animal has a sudden change of plans and starts exploring other parts of the vehicle, leaving everyone inside on edge.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the cheetah turned out to be rather passive and left the scene shortly thereafter. This video begins with what is seemingly a calm video during a spearfishing trip, but a few seconds later, something extremely terrifying catches the unsuspecting fisherman by surprise. After the close encounter, he grabs his partner's legs to inform him of the danger lurking below them. Unfortunately, the clip ends early, and their fate still remains a mystery. This terrorizing clip begins by showing two men walking towards a residential pond, which is allegedly home to a giant and aggressive alligator.
Look at that snakehead right there. Do you see that snakehead?
Yeah. Oh, he's big.
Upon seeing the alligator, they don't waste time and immediately get to work attempting to catch it, but things don't remain peaceful for long.
Oh, that is a big gator.
The struggle goes on for a few minutes as they seem to be having a pretty hard time pulling the heavy animal away from the pond.
Do not let him go back. He's trying to go back.
Good.
After successfully catching the predator by its neck, one of them proceeds to do the riskiest move by far in an attempt to hold it down.
Hold this full.
Push it down on him?
No, I'm gonna pull it up.
Now that the enormous reptile's mouth is sealed shut, they finally gain the confidence to haul the giant animal to their truck. The rest of the extraction goes smoothly, thanks to their skills and experience. On a rural road in India, a few innocent civilians were unlucky enough to come way too close to a fearless tiger trying to mind its own business. Originally, they quickly begin recording after spotting the animal walking out of the bushes just a few feet away. With everyone there absolutely frozen in fear, the predator begins calmly walking alongside the dirt road towards another group of terrified civilians.
Wait. It's here, it's coming.
After a few minutes, the tiger reveals itself once again and decides to go get a closer look of the cars up ahead.
Bus, bhaiya, bus, bhaiya. Shh, keep quiet. Oh, it's getting irritated. It wants to cross.
With the predator still lurking nearby, they unfortunately stop recording, and what happens next remains unknown. In Marshy Point Nature Center, an exploring YouTuber paid the ultimate price for getting on the bad side of a vicious copperhead snake. The clip begins as we see the snake enthusiast taking a walk in the park with his camera turned on in hopes of spotting worthwhile ophidians.
Hoping to hike a snake up or two. Got a couple hours to kill, so without further ado, let's get to it and see what we can find.
For a time, the snake sighting adventure appears to be rather uneventful, and then, out of nowhere, things take a frightening turn.
Oh, no. Not good.
Immediately after getting bitten, the man remains calm and finds a way to inform the appropriate authorities, who in turn step in and handle the situation professionally.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, it just stings a little bit.
It just stinks a little bit? Okay.
Right now.
All right, buddy.
Okay, cool.
We need to get you in that Kubota. We're going to drive you out here.
Eventually, the explorer is taken to the hospital, where it is confirmed that it was a dry bite, and he is discharged shortly after. A man from Chachoeng Sao, a city in central Thailand, found his dog barking incessantly at his home garage. He went in to check, having no idea what he was going to encounter. A 7-foot-long monitor lizard had made the garage its home. The owner called in rescuers to remove the lizard, but the reptile was more dangerous than they thought it to be. The officers moved the black Honda car, beneath which the monstrous lizard was hiding, and used brute force to take hold of it, which was a big mistake. Finally, when the animal tried escaping through the fence, the rescuers got a chance to tackle it down. They brought the lizard to the ground, tied it with ropes, and sent it back where it belonged. In an Indian wildlife safari, a group of friends had their relaxing expedition turn into a truly dangerous situation when they decided to closely follow an innocent tiger. In the beginning, things pick up rather quickly when they notice the predator walking right towards their car.
बस भैया बस तुम मत तू यार तू तो हर एक के पीछे
जब कह रहा है समझ ही नहीं रहा.
Trying to mind its own business, the animal simply passes them up and continues walking up the road when the tourists suddenly decide to go after it.
तेरी नौकरी जाएगी तो बता रहा हूँ भगा मत उसको चलो थोड़ा बैक लो.
The clip then jumps to a later moment where the group appears to be still following the tiger around the safari. Eventually, though, they come to realize that the predator seems to be, unfortunately, heading towards them once again.
What sighting यार. आगे ले इधर से आगे ले शाबाश इधर से ले आगे ले. Rightly. Idarly.
Luckily, the animal simply walks by as if nothing is happening, and the tourists finally decide to move on. This petrifying clip starts off with a man recording his snowmobile riding session in a snowy forest in the mountains. However, his supposedly relaxing snowmobile session quickly fell apart after he met an unexpected visitor waiting for him on top of the mountain. Upon seeing the huge bear staring right at him, the rider hastily swerves in another direction and starts speeding away just in case. Thankfully, he managed to dodge the danger in time and continued his ride like normal. On a river in Africa, a group of friends went out on an exciting fishing adventure when they unfortunately ended up being stalked by a relentless hippo. For most of the day, things seemed to be going well as they spend their time successfully fishing around the lake, all while recording their every move. At some point, though, they notice a sneaky hippo in the distance, staring them down.
Scott, just wait until that hippo goes away. Why I'll cast on your head.
Ah, this thing is smart. It knows it.
Boy, if this thing comes for us, it's over.
After doing their best to ignore the animal and continue fishing, they eventually begin to feel unsafe and decide to move to a different spot of the lake. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't take very long before their stalker shows up once again.
I'll cast on their head and scare them away. Hey, look.
Oh, this is shot.
Wait. It won't come.
Let's go before they form a block. Exactly.
Okay, let's go up that other funny river then.
A few minutes go by when they eventually decide that they won't be risking their safety any longer and thankfully proceed to drive away from the area entirely. On Easter Day, this little girl was out egg hunting around her house when she suddenly had the scare of her life. Watch to see what exactly happened. At the start of the video, the girl is happily walking around the premises searching for Easter eggs under the watchful eyes of her parents.
Come on, help me cheat.
She's good. You should have seen her at school the other day. We had one. Really? Yeah, dude, she smelled like about
After finding one egg in the potted plants, the excited child decides to take her search to the edge of the nearby bushes, but she ends up finding something else.
Right there. Right there? Oh my gosh. Come here, look.
Oh, damn, now that's a snake.
A few minutes go by as the family observes the animal in shock while making sure not to get too close. Eventually, though, the snake realizes that it has been spotted and does this.
He saw something that looked like an egg.
What kind of snake is that?
That's just a typical,
it's not poisonous. Oh. Damn, it's fast!
Luckily, the snake simply disappeared under the pavement and left everybody there unharmed.
From an exploding gas station in Saudi Arabia that sent concrete flying in every direction, and a barge in Serbia that snapped in half under too much weight, to a Brazilian swimming pool that sprung a leak and collapsed into the parking lot, and a Nebraska woman who jinxed her family's 4th of July celebration, here are 10 extreme moments caught on CCTV camera. Torrential rain battered the city of Yan'an, China for several days in July of 2013. Nearly 1 million people were affected by landslides and flash floods. They were about to add 4 more to the tally. On July 13th of 2013, 4 locals drove along a mountainous road near Yan'an City. All seemed normal until a massive mudslide engulfed their car. Thankfully, everyone inside made it out okay. The mudslide swallows the entire car in seconds. It's so violent that the street camera can hardly hold still. You can barely see the taillights through the dust as the car inches towards the cliffside. The landslide eventually subsides. It appears as if there's no way anybody could have survived. Then, miraculously, 2 men emerge from the car. A third struggles but makes it out after a quick tumble. All 3 are absolutely shell-shocked. First, they check the mountain to make sure nothing else is coming. Then, they go back to save their 4th passenger. China is a country that is extremely prone to landslides due to the significant amount of rainfall it receives, making near-death situations like this one a bit too common. Thankfully, all 4 men in this video made it out okay. As for their car, well, we hope they had good mudslide insurance. Harbin is the largest city and provincial capital of Heilongjiang Province, China. Its place in northeastern China is geographically similar to northeastern Canada. It gets pretty cold in the winter and fall. It was snowing in Harbin in November of 2021. The streets were covered in slush, and giant icicles hung from the skyscrapers. 2 men were chatting outside an office building when a falling ice block barely missed them.
我正在研究配什么色好看，老天爷就告诉我这色不好看。
Both men do the smart thing and move away from the building. You never know when another icicle is about to fall. We can see how big the ice block is when the video slows down. That thing could be half the size of his windshield. Now, falling icicles are no joke. While rarely sharp enough to penetrate your skin, they can leave bruises and break bones. You'll get a nasty concussion if one hits you in the head. According to the CDC, there are at least 1 million ice-related injuries in America each year. We can't say for sure how many come from falling icicles. The next time you're in Al Asa, Saudi Arabia, be careful where you're pumping gas. On May 15th of 2022, drivers at one local gas station were in for a terrifying experience. If you have an irrational fear of exploding gas stations, you should probably look away. A line of cars and trucks wait for their turns at the pump, but keep your eye on the reserve tank area on the left side of the screen. A white sedan drives by and leaves the station. They have no idea what they just missed. Moments later, kaboom! The reserve area explodes, sending slabs of concrete soaring into the air. Thick black smoke fills the gas station. We imagine that's what the gates of hell probably look like. Look at how the tops come flying off as the pressure builds inside. A split second later, the entire thing explodes. From what we can piece together, the reserve tanks allegedly exploded due to high temperatures in the area. With little news available out of Saudi Arabia, we can't say exactly what caused it. Long An is a major city in southeastern Vietnam. It's home to about 171,000 people and one very lucky man. On July 5th of 2022, a drunk man in his 50s was out for a late-night walk. His journey required him to cross the north-south railway tracks. Apparently, he was so drunk that he didn't realize the arms were down and a train was coming. What happened next was the luckiest moment of his life. The man standing guard is Trinh Van Ta, a 33-year-old rail crossing worker with one simple job. He's supposed to lower the crossing arms when the train is coming. Thankfully, Van Ta is very good at his job. That's when our drunk man ducks under the arm and tries to beat the train. But he stumbles and smacks his face on the ground. Without hesitation, Van Ta springs into action and pulls the man off the tracks. Seconds later, the train races by. The drunk man can hardly stand on his own 2 feet. We imagine Van Ta is giving him an earful about rail crossing safety. He claims he was walking to buy cigarettes and thought the train was much further away. Let this video be a lesson about patience and the inebriating effects of alcohol. All this guy had to do was wait 2 minutes. Maybe he wouldn't have become a drunken internet sensation. Smederevo is a vital river city in central Serbia. It sits on the banks of the Danube River, a 1,770-mile waterway stretching from western Germany to the Black Sea. On April 8th of 2021, workers were loading a barge full of minerals and sediment from the riverbed. It was someone's job to watch the barge and ensure it didn't get too heavy. Needless to say, that person got fired after this footage came out. They're lucky the barge didn't crash into the dock when it snapped like the Titanic. We also give 2 thumbs up for that daring jump between the sinking ship and the pier. The barge and machinery belonged to a Serbian company called DMB Shipping. Throughout 2021, several DMB employees were accused of violating different company rules. We bet one of those rules was make sure the barge doesn't snap in half. This next story is a cautionary tale about jinxes. On July 4th of 2022, a Nebraska family gathered to launch fireworks in the front yard. They had a car full of explosives, which were legal in Nebraska, and lit them off one by one in the street. You know when you're watching a game and the announcer says something like, "He hasn't missed a kick in 7 games," then of course the player misses the kick? We call that an announcer jinx. Well, this woman accidentally announcer jinxed her entire family.
That's what happened on New Year's. Was those fireworks were bad and it just exploded that whole tube.
Someone should have told her to knock on wood right then and there. What you're about to see is the most blatant jinx of all time. You probably saw this clip making the rounds on social media. It went so viral that people accused the Simply Safe doorbell company of staging it as a marketing campaign. They put out a tweet denying these claims. Then people blamed the family for posting the video and complaining when it went viral. But they weren't the ones who uploaded it in the first place. They sent the video to some neighbors in case the fireworks damaged their property and needed evidence for insurance claims. One of those neighbors shared it with a friend who sent it to another, and it eventually went viral. Enshi is a small city in central China. By small, we mean small by Chinese standards. They're still home to about 780,000 people. Their spot on the Qing River also attracts lots of summer tourism. There are plenty of hotels, restaurants, and spas to explore. The tourists were gone by December 27th of 2019. Locals were walking up and down the street when a loud crash stole their attention. The original CCTV clip doesn't do the sinkhole justice. We can see how big it is when bystanders begin recording on their phones. Finally, an aerial shot puts the whole scene in perspective. Local authorities did not report any injuries when the sinkhole opened. The driver was okay, and the road was closed for repairs until January 1st. They never said what caused the sinkhole. It looks like the road was built over pretty hollow ground. It probably collapsed after years of wear and tear. On May 2nd of 2023, a 5.2 magnitude earthquake rocked the southwestern city of Baoshan. It struck at 11:30 p.m. Beijing time, when most people were asleep for the night. Various CCTV cameras around the city captured the brief earthquake. It only lasted a few seconds, but you can imagine how scary and destructive that window can be. Admit it, you were worried for the cows and the dog, weren't you? According to reports, the earthquake damaged nearly 3,000 houses and injured 10 people. Thankfully, all of them made a full recovery. The Earthquake Administration declared it a Level 3 emergency, the third highest of 4 levels. They sent over 2,400 rescue workers into the city to help people get to safety. The local government set up 34 emergency shelters to house about 11,000 affected people. Gujarat is the 5th largest Indian state, but has the most coastline in the country. As such, they're a major port state. In fact, 40% of India's ocean cargo moves through their public and private sector ports. Like other countries, these Indian dock workers operate on very tight schedules. On August 28th of 2019, one truck driver came in a little too fast. All seems normal as the truck comes down the ramp. You don't realize he's going too fast until he tries to turn. The truck nearly tips over and drives off screen. Whatever's happening catches everyone else's attention. The CCTV cameras cut to a different angle, showing the truck plunging into the water. Everyone runs toward the crash to see if they can help. The guys watching the footage quickly blamed brake failure, not tight shipping deadlines. The driver and passenger were rescued and treated for minor injuries. As for their cargo, it sank to the bottom of the Arabian Sea. If you're looking for a Brazilian vacation, check out Vila Velha, a coastal resort town in Espírito Santo, Brazil. They're known for their beautiful beaches and luxury buildings. Just make sure the hotel pool is in working condition. On April 22nd of 2021, residents of a beachfront building reported a strange smell coming from the pool. It smelled like gas whenever the heated pool kicked into overdrive. They decided not to swim until someone could figure out the problem. That proved to be a wise decision. It was about 10 o'clock at night. Most of the residents were in bed or winding down. Then, they all heard a loud crash when the bottom of their 75-foot pool collapsed. The water fell down to the parking lot and flooded the first level. Officials evacuated the building's 270 residents and put them in nearby hotels for free. Meanwhile, they checked the integrity of the building to make sure the whole thing wasn't about to collapse. At least none of the vehicles in the parking lot were damaged. They just got a free car wash. The building was deemed safe, and residents returned 5 days later. Apparently, the pool sprung a leak in 2020 and had to shut down for 3 months. Maybe they didn't do a good job patching it. As for the gas smell, they never figured out where it was coming from. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another one just like it, then be sure to click the link